Hey everyone, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. We are here for another episode of Unsolicited Advice, where we pick up some folks online who are asking the internet for advice. So they're asking the internet, they're not asking us specifically, but I thought I should bring it to the group and we shall see exactly what kind of advice myself and the group would provide them. Now, around here, we go from very simple questions about I have a messy roommate all the way to the risque ones that are, let's just say, for people who are above 18. Okay. We do have a few of those today. I brought a plethora. I have time today. I had time yesterday to pull these for you and put it all together. So everyone is coming in. Let's say hello. Hey, Samantha, glad to see you here. Munira, glad to see you. We have an international audience, y'all. We have an international audience. And Samantha, glad you are here so that you are not telling us you brought another excuse note. We just love we love Samantha here. So y'all, as we come in and get started and you say hello to everybody, let's just hit that like, make sure you are subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you do know exactly when I go live, when I'm bringing you unsolicited advice or anything else. Hey Letitia, thank you for being here. Glad you got a chuckle, Samantha. And you can leave in the comments your unsolicited advice to any of these. And certainly you can tell me what you'd like me to watch. I have some folks telling me they need me to watch that Netflix show about cheaters trying to get back with their significant other. I'll give it a whirl, but I don't know yet. No promises. Hey Nestos, Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Good afternoon. How are you? So, y'all, let's get into this because I have a few stories. I forgot how many. I know it's more than six. Oh, it's seven. I have seven for you today. And we're going to start with the gentle ones and work our way up. Okay. So let's get the first one. Okay. The boyfriend says he does not live there. Okay. The boyfriend is 25, says he doesn't live with, this is a 26-year-old male apartment because he didn't bring any of his clothes here. What do you guys do? Says my boyfriend quit his job 4 months ago to get clients of his own. He said he was moving into his mom's place and moved all of his clothes there. He hasn't spent a single night at her place in 4 months, spends all his time at my apartment, where I live alone in a studio paying $1,700. I need to know, is that utilities included? Does that include utilities? I don't know what the market rate for a studio now is. Now I have a question. Where are we in the country? Where are we? I have a few questions already. Goes on to say he mentioned to me how much money he's been saving without a rent bill and will even tell me how much money he's making in a day with his own clients. I'm very proud of him, but I think I'm starting to resent him for being here for free. We've been one I've been wanting to bring up a conversation about what his plan is, how long he's going to live with me rent free. So I did last night and nothing came of it. He said he doesn't technically live here because he didn't bring any of his stuff from his apartment here. He doesn't have clothes here, keeps them in his car outside my apartment, and still asks to come over every time he leaves. But he does spend every single day and every single night here. He pays for groceries, eat every so often, but it doesn't compare to the bills that I'm paying. He said his goal is to never pay for rent again and to save up enough money to buy a house. I really don't mind him being here at all. When I pictured living with my boyfriend for the first time, I saw us splitting the bills and chipping in together. I don't know if I'm asking too much or if I should just let it go. How do you guys do in this situation? Y'all, what are we doing in this situation? What do we say? What advice are we giving? Let's see who came in. Miss Buckeye 99, thank you for coming in. How are you? So he's saying the boyfriend is freeloading. That's what I see. That's what I see. That's what I see. He's saying that the boyfriend is freeloading. The boyfriend is there. He done moved out of his own place and has all his stuff by his mama. But every day and every night, he at this person's the requester's house or studio apartment at 1700. Where is a studio apartment 1700? Where is it? 1700. What is the size of the studio? Because studio back in my day, okay, when I moved out, it wasn't 1700. This is like almost double of what I knew a studio to be. But 1700 for a studio tells me big city. And the way he's saying he's making money with clients tells me big city. So the boyfriend's goal is to never pay rent again in life. Where do we come up with that? Where do we come up with that? Okay? Where do we come up that we don't ever want to pay rent again in life? I don't get it. I really don't get it. How do we come up with that? Munira said he can live at home again. Well, all his stuff is at home. And I think he's done this before. The fact that he said, well, technically, none of my clothes are in your place. All my clothes is in my car outside your house. I'm like, yeah, you've been playing this game a while, that you have certain rules that you're working with. Samantha said, no, it's a wrap. He absolutely needs to return home. Yes, he needs to go where his stuff is, at home or his car. Samantha also said, it sounds like a luxury studio in a nice area, which will certainly cost a good coin. It better have a doorman. It better be really secure. For $1,700 for a studio, not even a one bedroom. Is there co-op fees? I have questions as to where this is. Munira said he is using her. Munira, this is two gentlemen, male and male. So yes, he's definitely using his partner, who is paying $1,700 a month on this, apartment. Then you're paying for groceries occasionally. So what's occasionally? Every other week? Because he's telling you he's making money. He's saving it for a house. Okay? He's saving it for a house. He's saving it for something other than you. Unless he's going to propose and y'all going to move into this house, but he never wants to pay rent again. So he's using you. He doesn't want to stay by his mama. Wants to stay with you. Yeah, I agree. The chat is kind of, agreeing with this, that you are being used. You're being used for his savings account. And he knows he's going to go from place to place to place and leave his stuff in storage by his mama. Maybe his mama don't want him at her house permanently. Maybe the mama said, keep your stuff here, but you need to go about your business. He probably ain't even helping mama with rent or mama with her mortgage. So how is he going to sustain a mortgage? He doesn't even want to pay this rent or even help when he's there every day. It screams to me like he'll come and he'll buy his meal and come to your apartment, heat it up using your facilities and everything, and be about his business. Sir, if you're at the person's apartment, whether it's a studio, otherwise, if you're using my internet, that's a bill. You're using my water because you're flushing a toilet, that's a bill. Okay? Or you're showering, that's a bill. You're using a microwave, electricity, you're plugging in your laptop, that's a bill. You do not live for free. You live off of people, sir. You are living off of your significant other. Hey, Jay Blake, we are just talking and giving our unsolicited advice to this young man who his boyfriend doesn't want to pay rent ever, but is using the resources at his $1,700 studio apartment while all of his stuff is at his mother or outside in his car. Okay? Samantha says, if he truly cares about you, he simply shouldn't be comfortable with allowing you to carry the load. Exactly. He's allowing you to carry the entire load paying the $1,700 a month for a studio. Now I need to know if that includes utilities and everything and internet. See, I'm so out of the rental game. I don't know what is going on. Hey Debbie, glad to see you made it. Jay Blake, yeah, thank you. Try to moisturize it just a little bit. So I mean, what I need to know. I'm more concerned about this apartment because in my mind, you need to be done with this young man. You need to be done with him because he is just using you so he can save for a house that you have no idea if you can even come over, if your name is going to be on the deed. So my advice, as well as others in the chat, is like, hey, be done with this relationship because you are being used. Okay? So if you have any unsolicited advice for this person, please make sure you put it in the comments and make sure you let us know. So let's go on to the next one, y'all. Okay? We get a little bit spicy around here with everyone, but I think another live, I'm going to just splash it all in every which way. Oh, okay. So this one is about body here. Okay. Husband, 41-year-old male, gets upset that I, 41-year-old female, don't shave my body hair anymore. Okay. So, ladies, we're talking about ladies' hygiene. Husband and wife are 41. She said, so basically, what the title suggests, I'm a 41-year-old female. I'm pissed that my husband got legit mad at me this morning for saying that I'm not conforming to the American culture, and he's embarrassed about it because I won't shave my armpits and legs. I found out a few years ago that shaving was an idea brought on by a razor company to sell more razors and appeal to the feminine population, to be more suave or whatever. I already shaved maybe twice a week. Since that day, 5 or 6 years ago, I shaved less and less and less. Up until last year, I just stopped altogether because I didn't care. I still shaved my armpits for a while, then stopped doing that for the most part as well. He also said I should at least shave for him. I do have a lot of dark hair on my body. I used to be embarrassed, but now I don't care. I, for further information, also don't use makeup because it's really expensive and time consuming to do. And I got sick at the time where women really started using makeup. So I just never really learned how. Now, shaving is just too time consuming, and I'm always hated shaving. Does anyone feel like I do that shaving shouldn't be done for someone else but the person themselves? Is that embarrassing that I don't shave? Y'all, she's asking. She is asking. Okay? Jay Blake said, shave that hair, girl. Shave it. Jay Blake said, girl, pick up that razor. Take that time. That is your husband. Now I have questions. Like y'all know I always have questions. How long y'all been married? Okay. So he met you while you were shaving. Okay. He met you while you were detangling the hair. Okay. He met you then. He met you hairless. Now all of a sudden you're growing it. So I have questions. Did he meet you unshaved or shaved? You said over a period of time you started doing less and less. So now he's like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute, girl. Wait a minute. It's getting a little too hairy in the jungle. And I really need you to start shaving again. Samantha says, I religiously wax. Okay, Samantha. Samantha's like, hey, 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 hey. So, Amen. El said, how did he meet you? Now, this, how did he meet you? I said it very gently, okay? Because there's a slippery slope we can go down, okay? So, unless it's something that is life altering, like, we ladies having kids, or, body does morph into something else, maybe. We mature into something else. Sometimes men do mature, physically into something else. That hair is going to grow back. So, hey, what you can do is, let him know how time consuming it is. Hey, it's time consuming. I don't like it. I don't like what it does to the body. Honey, will you sponsor maybe laser treatment so it doesn't come back again? So it can serve both of your purposes. He would like you to be with less hair, and you would like it to be less time consuming. We can find a meeting in the middle because this is a husband and wife. And he said it's been 5 or 6 years. You kind of like, so he's lived with this for 5 or 6 years. So he's saying, yeah, this is, a path too far. So let's find a way in the middle. Maybe, check out the laser treatments. Maybe, as Samantha said, maybe a wax may be helpful to you. That could be part of your self, your spa day or something. We can meet in the middle, what he would desire and what you would desire. So ask him, honey, would you be willing to sponsor laser treatments so that I don't have to spend the time handling all this here and you don't have to spend the time watching it grow? What are your thoughts? What is your unsolicited opinion for this couple? Because I need to know how long we've been married, at what state we met each other. Because I know people be getting together for them dates. They be making sure everything is plucked, nipped, and tucked for these dates. And now he been married to you for a while. How we reversing time, okay? Jay Blake said, it's getting hot here, holds order. Why change something like letting yourself go after marriage? Okay, okay. Well, he signed on that contract for marriage, better or worse. I'm guessing for her, the worst means, the length of hair or the fact she has hair. Okay. She doesn't want to deal with removing it. So, hey, honey, can we pay somebody to deal with this for me? Okay. Okay. Oh, Jay Blake is correcting me. It says it's getting hot and here holds odor. It is summertime. It is summertime. This is one of the more recent stories. So yes, summertime is definitely coming up. So lady, keeping all that hair can produce odor. So is it the hair? Jay Blake is asking, is it the hair that your husband has a problem that you continue to grow and not shave? Or is it that there is odor associated with the hair? What is your hygiene with all this hair? Hey, Marjan, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here in the group. Samantha says, yes, fairness. There should be a compromise. If this were about aging or gradual weight gain, I wouldn't say a word. But isn't this a basic hygiene issue? It is. But some cultures, hair is normal and they're okay with it. Some cultures. So he wants her to be more Americanized, is what she said, which leads me to believe there's a culture difference here. There's a culture difference that we did not talk about because at the time we were dating or early in the marriage, she was constantly shaving. So here we are. We need to find a compromise so that she doesn't feel like she's spending all her time shaving, and he, gets back the, hairless wife that he wants to keep. So let's go on to the next one. If you have any unsolicited advice for this young lady, please, 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 let us know in the comments. And Marjan said, I'm Iranian and I really shave as much as possible. Hey, Marjan, thank you for letting us know. It's not only a Western culture, okay? Let's get to the next one. So this one is a little bit spicy. It says, my boyfriend, 26, male, made a deal with his wife to get divorced, and I, 21-year-old female, just found out what it involved. Not sure what to do. Did y'all hear that? Her boyfriend made a deal with his wife to get divorced. So he's married. Okay, so let's continue. Let me not get too caught up just in the title. So I've been seeing this guy who's been separated from his wife for a few years. We've been talking a few months now. He's still married, but they haven't been together in any real way, and we're basically living like roommates while co-parenting their young child. Did he say that? Or is that for real? I'm just asking. So, well, yesterday I found out from his wife, she sent me a DM that they were trying for a second child. I was under the impression that they weren't involved anymore, and apparently she didn't know about me. She had just seen some messages. When I asked him about it, he said they are not involved and that he made a deal with her. If he gave her another baby, she'd finally agreed to divorce him. I actually do believe him here based on his situation over the past few years. So while he was hanging out with me, he was going back to sleep with her, apparently just to get it over with and move on. I had no idea this was happening until she reached out and told me. I confronted him. He admitted it. He said he didn't mean to hurt me and he was going to tell me eventually, but wanted to wait until our relationship was strong enough to handle it. He said he loves me and it wasn't about her. It was just only the way he thought he could finally get out. But obviously, it still feels like cheating. Now things are blowing up. She told everyone at his job, and he may be fired for it. She kicked him out of his house and said he cannot see his kid. He's a mess, saying I'm the only thing he has left, begging me for support, trying to figure out what to do next. I still have feelings for him, but this has completely changed how I see him. I'm not even mad or upset, honestly, just shocked that he thought this was okay. Do you think the actions outweigh the intentions of the situations? What are your thoughts on this? Y'all, this one is a little spicy. This one is a little spicy. As a recap, her boyfriend had an agreement with his wife for divorce. That's what she thought. That they were just still living in the house together to co-parent. Basically, co-parent roommate situation. That's what he told her. She had no proof. The wife came into the DMs to say, haha, hold on, this is my husband. We are trying for a second child. Be gone from my marriage. That's just me putting it in my own voice in my head. Be gone. He's saying, no, he was giving her a child so she could finally divorce him. A child means support. A child means support. And the fact that you said, you asking for advice, say it feels like cheating. Young lady, you are helping him cheat on his wife. He's not cheating on you. He's not cheating on you. Okay? Okay? Jay Blake says, still in the same house? Look, we have the red flags run amok in the chat. The red flags are out there. Red flags, and Debbie said, yes, red flags all over the place. Young lady, you need to step away. He just been cast out by the wife. He said that all he had to do was give her another baby and they couldn't divorce. Clearly, she don't want him. Clearly, she didn't want him if he cheating. Absolutely co-sign the chat. Move on, Samantha says. Move on. Girl, do not let that man move in with you and end up like the first story, where you paying all the bills in your studio apartment and he living there. Munira said she is naive. I would say that, Munira, they're all in their 20s. They're all in their 20s. She's 21. And the man is higher up in his 20s. It's like, young lady, you just took everything he said to you and took it for gold. You took it for gold. You thought it was authentic. But, 3 words I love and live by: trust but verify. Trust but verify. And how long were y'all together? Okay? How long are y'all together? How often is he staying out at night and sleep? Is he sleeping overnight with you? Because it doesn't seem so, because his wife would notice if he's sleeping out of the house and would be asking questions. Here's what I would beg, that some flags you missed, young lady. He didn't spend overnight with you, okay? Maybe on a rare occasion. He probably didn't spend holidays with you because he had to spend holidays with his wife or his wife's family, and he made up excuses. He probably didn't buy you gifts, or whatever little gifts he did, he certainly couldn't put it on a credit card. Young lady, you were being played. You're being played. You were the person on the side he had outside of his marriage. I'm sorry to tell you that. Sorry to tell you that. Meteor said, when I was 20, I wasn't as naive as her. Exactly, because I didn't trust. At 20s, I wasn't trusting. Plus, I was out having fun, but I wasn't trusting like this. Oh, you married? Bye. When you get your divorce papers, call me. When you have the signed, notarized, and docketed divorce decree, then call me. Until then, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. It's the same thing I did in my 30s when I met my husband. Okay, you said you're divorced? Oh, where's it docketed? Oh, in what courthouse? Okay, do you have a copy of it? At least the cover page? Because that cover page will tell me I can go online and search the docket. When people tell you the divorce, you better verify it. Or my divorce is in process. Because I also want to read through that divorce because I need to know, what do you owe them? What do you owe them in the divorce? How many did you lie about the kids that you have? Because the divorce decree in some states will also state the kids, will also state the child support order. It would also state all of that. If you all had community property, did she have to sell it and you get half? Was it fun? There is a lot to learn in a divorce decree. And young lady, let that man go and tell him, yeah, if you care about him that much, after your divorce, certainly call me. And then make sure when you call me, you send me a PDF copy of your divorce decree before you even call me. So I can review that to see even if you are financially stable enough, even to have a relationship. But I say be done with him because he obviously lied to you from jump. He lied to you, he lied to his wife, he probably lied to the family. And he's about to be without a job because if this wife is going to his job about this, she will try to find you. He is not worth it. I'm sorry. I don't know him. I don't know you, but nobody's worth it for me to be entangled with this kind of situation. It's too much. It's too much foolishness to start a relationship that you're trying to build on. There's no way, if you got together with this man, that this wife would accept you to co-parent with him if you all get married. It has been soured from the beginning. Let it go. If you have any other unsolicited advice for this young lady, please put it in the comments. Let us know your thoughts, even if it varies from ours. We certainly would like to hear from you because we all have different experiences, different thoughts. Somebody may have gone through this and may have come out perfectly fine in the end. But let us know definitely, because there are red flags all over this chat to let this young lady know, stop, don't do it, let him go. Y'all, let's get on to the next one. And while I pull it up, please make sure that you have liked, shared, and subscribed to the channel. Let's see what's next here. Okay, apparently this is a gentleman asking for advice. He's a 37-year-old male, and his 32-year-old wife wants an open relationship, but he does not. Says, so she sprung this on me a week ago. She wants us, or rather her, to see other people. Some background information to lead to this point. In short, I have neglected her. Not by choice, but it's still my fault. When we met, it was a DDLG relationship. It felt good for both of us. We got married, built a house, made a family, the whole deal. Okay? During her first pregnancy, I did not want to be intimate. It felt weird. After our son, she had a birthing injury that she could not be intimate for almost 2 years. Okay? When we started again, she got pregnant again. Same deal. Same deal. You know, after the first year, after about a year ago, everything became easier. She wanted to start being intimate again. I did not, because at this time, my drive was all but gone. I don't know why, if it's a side effect of, chronicle neurological diagnosis or anything else. I am attracted to her. I want to be intimate with her, but only the slightest curveball during the days kills my mojo. She has tried many approaches. Now she springs it on me that she wants to go outside for her needs. And I'm blown away. I cannot fathom being with her if she does this. But I love her and I want us to grow old together. She wants the same, but feels like she needs to do this for her own sake. For me, it feels disgusting. I'm not judging others in open relationships. You do you, but it's not something I'm okay with. She said it will be great for us. She gets what she needs and still have a loving marriage. The way I see it at this point, I see 3 outcomes: divorce and split our family. I let her do her thing, but I'll be miserable and can never look at her the same. Or I forbid her from doing this and she's miserable instead. Okay. I put my foot down and ask, how can she gamble our family like this? And she answers with me being controlling and manipulating for telling her this and will put everything in danger. I have a hard time seeing a future for us if she goes through with this. What are y'all advice? What is your advice? Thank you, Marjan. Please like, subscribe, and share. What is your advice for this gentleman? His wife wants an open relationship and he does not. How do we navigate this? He's not providing what she needs as far as intimacy, and she is wanting to look for it elsewhere. At least she discussed this with you before she went out. That's the one great positive thing. You also understand that you are not meeting your wife's needs. Okay? Everybody's aware, but everybody's having a discussion before doing any irreparable damage to the relationship. That is what I really like with what you have told us. Ooh, this is giving me the whole what psychologists, and I'm not one, would say is a Madonna complex. It's like she's had your two kids. It has led to complications that has not allowed y'all to be intimate for years, and your mojo kind of tanked because of this. Are you seeing her as just the mother of your kids and nothing else? And the maturity, here's the if you know anything about the initials I said in this, he may be seeing her no longer as his little girl. Now she is a mother. So that dynamic of that type and style of relationship has changed, especially how he views her. Marjan said, I think they may need a divorce at this point. Debbie says, yes, they may need a divorce. Samantha said, this is tough. Have they considered counseling? I'm wondering, he said he was going to talk to folks. So I'm wondering, he said he was going to talk to some doctors, but I don't know if counseling would certainly help, but it will help. I think it's the dynamic of the relationship and how he sees her. She is no longer, the person. And because she was pregnant, and some, not all, a lot of men, if you have a complication, real big complication during pregnancy with their child, there may be some guilt involved there, and a therapist would definitely help them. But again, I'm seeing this both ways. Everybody is open and acknowledging there's an issue. Everybody wants to work on the issue. I think for her, she says open. I wonder if she's just jarring him to kind of get his mojo back into things, because it's like you wouldn't want, she knows her husband wouldn't want her going with anybody else. So maybe he will step up to the plate, but definitely counseling would definitely help them. Trey Mack, hey, welcome on in. He says, prepare yourself to leave, sir. Okay. This is only ending one way, chaos and heartache. Well, it could be chaos and heartache, but I think the therapy, I think they're viewing each other differently. And I can see because we're talking and we're open ahead of time, I can see this working. Is this the first time that Chad and I are of different opinions? Is this the first time that Chad and I are just a little bit different in the way things are? Samantha says they are evolving away from each other, but love is still there, but that simply may not be enough. Yes, I can see that. It may not be enough. I think they also may need an intimacy counselor, because it's like, what are we looking for? Because we can certainly have intimacy without being physically intimate. What is she looking for? What is he looking for? I think it's multi-layered here. I think her complications, since it took years for her to recover from the first kid, and then when they got back into it, she got pregnant right away. I'm thinking that it's something there with the guilt, something there with, we don't know what she went through, and it could really have shaken him. It could really have shaken him and how he views her, and then they cannot get back to their DDLG relationship. I'm thinking that's where it stems from based on his tone. As we said, there is still love there. I can hear it in the manner in which he put it out there, but I don't know if the counseling, and I wish to know how she brought it to him. How did the conversation go? Because tone too is everything. Marjan said, no matter what, they should both go to therapy for themselves and the kids. Yes, they have two kids now mixed in this. And I wonder if she wants more. Have they decided to no longer have any more children and to take their fertility, into their own hands to prevent those complications? Because it seemed to be something, if it's twice, it may happen a third time, complications for her. Tremax says the real issue is that he views her differently than how he used to. That's going to be hard to change. I know that road. As the only gentleman that's actually speaking up in the crowd, Trey, I'm glad you have said that. That yes, that is a hard way for you to rethink of that person, especially your wife, especially when you come um, from that group and hemisphere. Y'all, if y'all don't know anything, you could certainly go and research DDLG relationships. It is not everybody's cup of tea. It is different. I'm not judging anyone if that is the type of relationship they want. But because that relationship has certain dynamics, I'm thinking that is hard for him to think differently. Samantha says, hear me out on this, Elsa and chat. There are professional cuddle services that can give her the intimacy she needs to a point. But I still maintain a marriage. It seems this is on a couple of shows. Yes, I have seen this. There are people that do provide cuddle services. There is a whole contract. It says where your hands and body can meet and cannot meet, fully clothed. There are cuddle parties. I have certainly seen that. Samantha, totally understand that. That's why I asked, what is intimacy for her? What is she looking for that he's not providing? Because it's sounding like if we just looking to slap skins and he ain't doing that no more for fear that she may become pregnant again and she may have complications that will take her years to recover. And if it's okay for her, she is willing to take that risk. He is not. That is a weird road to be winding on. I said what I said. Glad to see you. Thank you for being here. We're just on a story where the wife wants an open relationship. He does not. He does not want that open relationship. He sees her differently. She's given birth and had years of recovery after each birth, and he just cannot see himself getting back intimate with his wife. But she decides, hey, why don't we have an open relationship where I can go out there and get what I need? And he said he can't. It will be miserable for him if he said yes, miserable for her if he says no, and there's no way in the middle for this. That's why he came out for unsolicited advice. So, y'all, if you have any other unsolicited advice out there for this gentleman, for his wife, I certainly see they can certainly go to counseling. I'm not going to tell him to run and leave. I'm not going to tell him that. There are counseling services, everything that he can get back into the groove with his wife, and they could work through this. Because the wonderful thing is no one has taken action to cheat or be dismissive. They're still in the talking phase. Okay? We're still talking to each other, which is a good sign that there is still love there and something they wish to work on. Now let's get to the next item on the list. Let me see if I get the right one. Okay, this is about another husband. This is about another husband. Well, wait a minute. I have a few comments. Let me go back. Tremax said, this is the main reason why I push back on women who either act or like the princess treatment. I want a queen, an adult, someone to rule alongside me, not some little girl I must take care of. Now, Tremax, we understand this form of relationship is not for you, okay? And this form of relationship has its nuances, and he is struggling with that right now. So I do agree with you. And, I wonder if you're putting this out in the chat, if you're putting your resume out there, okay? Let us know. Let the ladies in the chat know. I'm just messing with Treyback, y'all. Just messing with them. So, okay, let's go on to this item that says my 46-year-old husband, okay, this is a 46-year-old woman, is saying that her 46-year-old husband changes his phone screen every time I walk into the room. For what reason other than cheating would someone do this? Okay, we have been married for 22 years. Y'all, do I need to say that again? We have been married for 22 years, and he's always been committed to our relationship. I really don't think he's cheating because, other than work, he always comes home. I have no reason to think he's talking to someone else. However, he's been doing this thing with his phone for a really long time now that it bothers me and makes me question my sanity. Nearly every time I walk into the room where he is, he either turns off his phone or changes the screen suddenly. He does it so fast that I can't see what he's looking at. It's definitely not normal behavior. I've asked him about it a couple times and he gets upset. He thinks I'm accusing him of something. I wouldn't dare ask to look at his phone. That would make him so mad. What could he possibly be looking at that he doesn't want me to see? Okay? Y'all heard that? Hubby is changing the phone. Okay? Yes, Trey Mac, I was messing with you. Hubby is changing the screen on the phone as soon as she walks in. As soon as he hears her shuffle of the feet by the door, hubby is making sure to go and change his screen, maybe flip it down, face, whatever. She doesn't believe he's cheating. He goes to work and he comes home. Do we know that for a fact, young lady? Trust but verify. Do we know that for a fact? Because I know some folks that have lost their job, still left the house like if they're going to a job and they were not. Okay? They left their house like if their regular routine of going to work and they're not. So let's verify he's still at that job. And you can verify it real sweet and subtle. You know, you could send him lunch to his job, or you could show up with lunch just to spend some time together. Okay? Send him lunch, or go drop by with his favorite sandwich or whatever. Okay? You could do that. Some people just ask for a date and say, meet me over here after work. You could do that. Do something surprise where you're checking on him, but it doesn't seem too bad. The red flags are flying again. The red flags are back in the chat. Thank you, Debbie. Marjan said, why did she not ask him about it? He got mad about it. She did. He got mad about it. She said that. She said he gets upset. She asked him a couple of times and he gets upset. That's what she wrote. So why is he getting upset? That's my question. Why is he getting upset? If you're looking at something. Now, we can think positive. He could be thinking of a surprise. Is it close to her birthday? A milestone birthday? What were the ages we said again? Because these were grown people. They're both 46. Okay? Maybe so. They're both 22 years married. Maybe he's thinking of a vacation. Maybe he's thinking about something wonderful to do for her. He's saying, I need to know how long this hiding of the phone has been happening. Okay? She said he's been doing this thing for a really long time now. You see, when people say really long time, I need to know, because your really long time and my really long time are two different really long times. My really long time is like at least 2 weeks with something like that. 2 weeks you've been hiding your phone? Or a month you've been hiding your phone? Yeah. That wouldn't sit well with me. But I need to know, I need quantifying knowledge of what is a really long time. Trey Max said he's looking at corn and other chicks online. Maybe even having conversations with people he shouldn't. Plain and simple. Probably not physically cheating, but he knows she will trip either way. Trey Mac, I agree with you. I totally agree with you, because if she's tripping on just not seeing the phone, could you imagine the trip if she does know what he's looking at? And if it's not positive, okay? If it's not positive, something for her, a surprise for her, a surprise for them, because sometimes maybe he wants to buy a new car and he knows they can't really pay for it, and he don't want her to know he's still looking when they decided not to get another car. That kind of thing can happen. But if it ain't positive, we're already tripping about the phone. Could you imagine if he got an OnlyFans account that he's looking at, that he's sponsoring? Could you imagine her carrying on with that? We have not seen what it is, but she already carrying on. So we know she gonna go over the edge. Marjan said, sorry I missed that. If he's getting upset, that is a red flag. The red flags are back in the chat, y'all. The red flags are back. Uh, my unsolicited advice, y'all been married for 22 years. You know your husband. It's been 22 years. You know him. You know how he behaves. You know his habits. You know all of that. Now, I agree with you. I'm not going to look in the phone. I'm not looking at the phone. Because you know what? Anything that happens in the dark going to certainly come to light. One of these days, it's going to flash up. One of these days, it's going to come to light. And you need to be prepared with whatever you see, hear, or are told. You need to be prepared because he's obviously hiding something. So, what I would do, but these are diabolical, as Little Black Book 91 said, this is dark arts. I would continue to be nice. I would continue to be quite sweet. I'm not going to ask about it again. Not ever again. But it'll be like, once a week, I'm going to send you lunch or I'm going to bring lunch by or plan something. I'm going to take everything and it will be so sweet that your conscience will be eating at you. It will be so sweet that you will want to tell on yourself. And lady, this is your husband 22 years. You alone know what that is. But I'll be sweet. I'll be nice. I'll be kind. I'll forget about that. Or I would do that and I would also start hiding my phone. Because turnabout is fair play. Okay? Because if I start hiding my phone, now he's going to be worried. Well, wait a minute. What she got to hide? And he's going to stop looking at his phone real hard and he's going to want to know what's on my phone. And that's where we going to, trip up. If you have each other's password, I'm going to certainly change mine. That will throw him for a loop because I'm sure even though you're not checking his phone and he's happy about that, he might want to check your phone. But only you know your husband that well. Marjan said, this is the reason for married women to have their own bank account and savings account. Yep, you never know. You never know if you're going to use the money for something else or if he is cheating. Tremek said, and if it's only corn or women online, I can almost bet that they won't look like her. That's what's really going to hurt. Shaking my head. Now, why are you shaking your head and you got that smirk? Okay? The smirk and the shaking my head means something different. So, if he's looking at women online, looking at corn, lady, you got to handle this. This is, I wouldn't say this is warfare. This is just a little battle. Because if he's doing everything else he's supposed to be doing, you ain't got that much of a problem other than you want to know what he is. Stop asking about it. Stop trying to look at his phone. Hide your phone. Find your own hobby. It could be something as simple as knitting or quilting videos and you hiding it. And he don't even know what you're looking at. Change your password and you continue to be nice and sweet. Don't ask about it because it will come to light and you will know exactly what's going on once it comes to light. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because whatever it is going to lose its flavor, and you have been there 22 years. But keep in mind, okay? Keep in mind, it can be a step in whatever direction. But while you continue to be nice, gather your evidence, because if he is cheating, you're going to need that for that divorce proceeding, okay? I'm going to need you to be nice, and I'm going to need you to just watch and gather information. And I need to know what's a long time. What's a long time? Jay Blake said, that's where it starts, with the corn and watching women online. Jay Blake's like, this is where it starts. She gonna nip it in the bud. She gonna nip it in the bud. Just Rhonda, thanks for being here. I'm late. I don't care if my man looks at corn. Okay. Just Rhonda is like quite a few of us who don't care if he looks at corn. Because you know what? Corn does grow all over the place. And we don't mind if you look at it as long as you don't go out there looking for the corn stars and trying to reenact it with somebody else. The smirk is for this has happened before. It will happen again. Okay. Yep. Jay Blake said, nip it quickly. Now, hey, I'm saying, check it out. Look and see what's going on. Watch, gather your evidence. Because if it does lead to divorce, it's 22 years. You've invested a lifetime. Y'all have raised kids together. Your kids are probably grown, if not grown already, if you have any. 22 years is a long time. But you're saying he's hiding his phone for a long time. Just watch. Yes, just watch. Samantha says, yes, great advice. Observe and document. Yes. And change your behavior. Because my thing is, I used to say, if you out there running amok, okay, then that leaves me free time to run amok. And you don't know where I am. Okay? You don't know where I am. I used to, my dark arts days of the past was that, if you used to coming home late, or if you're used to answer my calls and you don't, I just stop answering your calls. Or I'll just come home later than you. Because you're used to me being home because you just think I'm here. But if you come home and all the lights are out and I know where you are and I time it well and I come home 30 minutes after you, and I could be just down the street at the grocery store or just down the street, had dinner with a friend, hanging out, nothing. I could be at my mama's house. Nothing dangerous to the relationship. But again, you have to switch it up. He's used to you. It's 22 years. He used to you. He knows what's going on. He knows you want to know what's on the phone. Switch up your phone. Switch up your behavior patterns and let's see if he takes the bait. But other than that, watch, observe, and document. Because if it's time for divorce, okay, if it's time for divorce, you need that documentation. Trimac said, wait 22 years? I missed that. Oh, yeah, it's definitely corn and women online. He's feeling like he wants something new. And if he does want something new, if he does, hey, we're going to watch, we're going to observe when he starts to try and pack his bags, pack his internet, and want something new or someone new. We just have the evidence that what? It's been a really long time. That ain't going to work in the court. You need to know as of this date to this date, he has been acting strangely. You're going to need that evidence and that information. But yeah, Tremac said he wants something new. And that can happen. That can happen. But you know what? That's something new. Don't want the something old that he is. Let's just tell him and keep it a buck. That's something new. Don't want the 40-something-year-old man that been married for 20-something years that probably got grown teenage kids. Let's put it out there. He may be looking, he may be liking, he may be conversing, but if they ever meet up, they're going to be like, oh no, he looked like an old married person of 22 years. That new person ain't going to want him. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And Trey Mack, what you said, wait 22 years, I missed that, means you ain't listening to me when I'm reading these things. But I forgive you. I forgive you. I understand. I understand. I totally get it. Just Rhonda said she can be his something new. She could. And that's why I say change it up. Change it up. 22 years. Maybe it's just regular. Everything is the same. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing flipped over. Ain't nothing been different. But bring something new and be the something new. There are wigs out there. There's different things. Change it up just a little bit. That may either draw him to you or it may scare him. Sharon said, hold on, here's something positive. Maybe, just maybe, you can provide something new. Take a pole dancing class. Now, why do we always have to take it to the pole? Isn't that what's getting him in trouble? Maybe his pole is thinking for him. Why do we got to take a pole dancing class? Why is that something new? Okay? Why is that? But I understand. Go do something new. It's 22 years of marriage. Go find a new hobby, something maybe y'all both can enjoy, or you could just switch up and just observe him, and he'll come back to the fold. Because you know what, he'll come back. He'll totally come back. And if he doesn't, you at least have your evidence gathered, because 22 years is a long, long time. Yes, Treyback, really, really. Because all I hear when people say, oh, spice up the relationship, she needs to go take a pole dancing class. Why can't you guys go do a pole dancing class? How about that? How about that? Why can't the male dancers do a little pole dancing? Because, sometimes we ladies are tired of dancing with your pole, and y'all need to, know how to change up y'all pole dancing. Okay? I'm just putting it out there because this is how people end up either divorce or whatever, or seeing things just one-sided one way. Okay, why got to be pole dancing? So before we get into further trouble, let's go on to the next one. Next one is, oh yes, this one is spicy. Okay, this 30-year-old lady says her 37-year-old husband hid a Segs doll from her and didn't know what to do next. Okay? She found a wrapper when she went snooping, found tons of corn subs, okay, and talked it through. Then found a receipt for a doll in hidden accounts. She said originally she posted on Cheating Exposed looking for advice, but now she's reposting it. And here's an update. She says, how does OnlyFans charges work? I just discovered a plethora of corn subscriptions my husband has been paying for. Corn is not a big betrayal to me, but we've always said OnlyFans is a no-go, and we both consider it cheating. Long story short, I discovered he has an OnlyFans account. And when asked directly, he said no. I told him I found it, and he claimed he thought I was asking if he was making content, as if, obviously, trying to cover up his lie. So I have him show me the account, and his hands are shaking, but he lets me look through it. And he had 11 subscriptions. Y'all, let me say that again. He had 11 subscriptions, and he was paying a small amount of money for a couple of them. And then he had several declined charges for much bigger amounts. He claimed he did not try to purchase content and only bought subscriptions, and that the decline charges are being done automatically and wasn't content he was trying to purchase. So my question to you is, how does that work? Is he lying out his teeth again? We have multi-layers, y'all. Hey, Lindsay Smith. Glad to have you here. Just Rhonda said, now that's spicy. Trey Mac said, I'll take a pull down clap for my wife. Absolutely. Okay, Trey Mac, we'll talk to your wife and get confirmation that you did that. Just Rhonda said he might have an addiction. Could be. Trey Mac also says corn is free nowadays. Just don't understand these people still paying to watch. Daggone fool. Paying with the credit card she has access to. That's the other daggone fool thing. But we have multi-layers. So he not only buying the subscriptions, where he has 11. She said he has 11 subscriptions. And it seems like he's had multiple accounts. So is he just subscribing under multiple accounts? Then he also bought a doll that he hid. That's another layer to this. So he's buying product and items from this. So she said one thing, and I want her to hold him to it. Okay, I want her to hold him to it. She said that they both agreed early on in the relationship that OnlyFans was a no-go and it is cheating. Okay, OnlyFans is a no-go and it is cheating. They are both married. He is 37, she is 30. I would like to know how long have they been married. The previous couple told us it was 22 years. This couple, we don't know how long we've been married. We don't know how long. We don't know how long they've been married at all. So I need to know how long y'all been married. But you said the OnlyFans is a deal. It's a deal breaker. So you need to stand on that boundary. You need to stand on that boundary that the OnlyFans was cheating. Y'all thought it was cheating and was a boundary. If you're going to step off that boundary now, you got to have a discussion because he may see it as getting permission to keep these 11 subscriptions. How much money is that a month? Okay, y'all, for some people who don't know about OnlyFans, there are some people OnlyFans that cost a pretty penny a month. And for me, a pretty penny is $25 or more. Okay? There's some people OnlyFans that's like $5.99. There's some that's like $10. But the real, so I heard, don't think I'm out here with no 11 OnlyFans, but I do know the price list, okay? I do know the price list. Now, if he has 11 subscription, let's be nice to him, okay? Let's say he only had the $10 range. Even if he had $10 and it's 11 different subscriptions, we spending too much money per month, I think, on this, okay? I think. Why is OnlyFans different than corn? I don't know for her. Maybe because you interact with the OnlyFans people. Maybe because you can have a communication directly with the person on OnlyFans. is why she may have a problem with it or they may have one. With corn, you're just buying or you're just seeing what's there. And unless the person has their social media or their name is on there, you really can't, talk to them. And some people have their OnlyFans live like this is, and you can interact with them. That may be why. That may be why it's different or seen as different or seen as more cheating. Tremack said he had a problem by this point. Definitely, probably an addiction. What does the doll look like? I need to know. He is just stupid, stupid. So I don't need to know what the doll look like, but I understand Tremack needs to know maybe, what the ethnicity does the dog have her similarities. I don't know, but definitely the fact that he had a doll at all is just plastic. Okay. It is not human flesh. This is not one of those Black Mirror episodes where someone or a doll that, simulates a human being. Okay. Just Rhonda, Marjan agrees with you that this may be an addiction. Yeah, it could be because 11 subscriptions. That's a lot of money. Well, wait a minute. Where am I finding the time to engage in 11 subscriptions? Where am I finding the time? I'm having a hard time. I have subscriptions on YouTube. Where am I finding the time to look and interact with 11 subscription? How often? Because with OnlyFans, a lot of people post more than once a week. And how long are their posts? How long are you looking at these things? That is valuable time you're missing out on your relationship. Marjan Just Rhonda says it was the doll that went too far for me. Girl, now I have to talk about this doll delicately because I need the chat or y'all in the comments to tell me, how is a doll not considered a toy the way other folks may bring other toys into their relationship? I would like to know that from the chat and any of you who are watching. How is a doll different from other toys that adults may use during intimacy? Now, I understand using that doll on his own. She had no idea he had this doll in use. I understand that. But if he brought this doll as a toy for them, would that be okay? That would be my question. Lindsay Smith says, sounds like he needs a second job. Lindsay, you ain't lied. He needs a second job to pay for these subscriptions because I'm being nice. I say he just over $100 and something for these 11 subscriptions. I'm being nice. Okay? I'm being nice because he need a second job. And if he has a second job, he ain't got time to look at these 11 subscriptions. So Marjan and Just Rhonda are y'all, their brains are in sync. Okay? They are talking about it. Marjan said, toys you do with your partner. Now, Marjan, that is in a great relationship. Now, we know there's some people that use toys without their partner being present. So would that be in line with this doll using when the partner is not present? I'm just asking. I'm not giving a preference either way. I'm just trying to stir something up, something in conversation. Just Rhonda said, for me personally, it's just a little Criminal Minds. So I'm saying I'm with the chat. This seems like it's a bridge going too far. I think he's going a little bit further on this bridge. He may need help. He may need assistance because we need to unplug these 11 subscriptions. He may need help. 11 subscriptions to me is wild. 11 subscriptions is wild to me. And if he's communicating with these, he did present it. Unlike the husband of 22 years, this gentleman did, even though his hands were shaking, she said, he did present it. She did look through it. She saw what he was doing with the OnlyFans accounts. Okay. She saw he had 11 subscriptions. He's paying a small amount of money for them. And he had several declined charges for larger amounts. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying. He at least is better than the 22-year husband of the previous story who didn't want to show his phone at all. So he's willing to deal with the consequences of this. So I say the conversation, see if this is an addiction, and then he needs help. Okay? He needs help in this regard. And you're going to have to shut down them credit cards from that. You have to shut it down from being able to pay. He's going to have to either be weaned off or shut it down. Munira said you can communicate and text with the OnlyFans model. I think that's why she thinks that OnlyFans is cheating. Exactly, Munira. That's exactly what I said earlier. Tremex said a doll is a toy, just a big toy. LOL. Wait, is this a regular blow up doll or one of these new synthetics I've been hearing about? That's another level if it's the synthetic one. Now, Trey Mac, because she said his charges were declined for larger amounts, I'm not thinking it's a very sophisticated one. Okay? I'm not thinking it's the sophisticated, Sith one, a synth one, synthetic one. I don't think so because she said his card was declined for larger amounts. That means maybe the card declining because we've maxed out. 11 subscriptions, maybe a few of them, is maxed out and he ain't got no more money to be paying for these subscriptions. Marjan said if the wife knew about the doll, it would be one thing, but the fact she didn't know, I have a problem with. I agree with you. I have a problem with that. And I need to know hygiene. We talked about the lady who didn't want to shave anymore. Is he washing this doll properly? Is he washing his toys properly? Between uses. Because that too is a whole other layer, and we're going into healthcare that I ain't even want to broach. Because if it ain't of a certain caliber and he ain't cleaning it properly, we gonna have additional issues in the household. Just Rhonda said, I would start my own OnlyFans and get some of his subscription money. Now, Just Rhonda, you are on my level. Hey, start charging him because if he's letting the money out to the OnlyFans, maybe you need your own channel to collect his money and the money of anybody else who wishes to pay for your subscriptions. Okay? Okay? Marjan said, I love you now, Just Rhonda. We do love Just Rhonda 01. She has her own channel and she reviews and recaps all of our favorite reality dating shows and reality shows. So please go check out Just Rhonda's YouTube channel. Yes, I would totally be trying to get that subscription money and others because somebody got to make money in this house, okay? And the doll ain't doing it. The doll ain't doing the earning of the money. Lindsay Smith said, when he comes home, have the doll sitting next to you with popcorn between you watching TV. Say, welcome home. Which one do you want? See, the chat is on my diabolical level. Yes, the doll will be sitting there, looking very gracious like I am. And we both have the popcorn in the middle. Which one do you want? Now, is this a permanent question or is it which one do you want for the evening, Lindsay? Okay. Because I'm gonna start diabolical and say which one do you want for the evening? Because you can only have just one. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna tell anybody to do anything, but sometimes a little hot sauce in the popcorn is very tasty. But I'm gonna have to ask that one. I like the setup, Lindsay. You have fallen right in with the chat and the energy that we have here. Well, totally welcome aboard, Lindsay. Trey Max said, just Rhonda. Oh my. What's your title page going to be? Rhonda gonna get it, taking all their monies. Now, Rhonda said for the young lady to make the OnlyFans account. She did not say she was going to make one. But Rhonda, if you have one out there and you're starting one, the people want to know, and you may have some support here in the chat. I'm just saying, I'll support you. I ain't doing 11 subscriptions now, but so you're having some support here, Just Rhonda. So let's get on. That's not the end of it. I have one more. Okay, are y'all here with me for one more? This is the last one. I promise. It is Sunday. I said I had free time. I saw some juicy, spicy stuff, and I said, let me be here. Let's get into it. Let's do this. Okay. Let's get into the last one. And I hope it's not too much. If it singes your sensibilities, I apologize. If it does not, welcome. You are certainly part of the crew. Okay. This is a this is a 21-year-old male, okay? Went soft during intimacy with his 19-year-old girlfriend. Now she's upset and wants him to leave early. Okay? Hey everyone, I'm a 21-year-old male and my girlfriend is a 19-year-old female. We've been together for about 6 months, and honestly, things have been good up until now. This is my first relationship, and I'm currently visiting her. The other night, we were going to have intimacy, and during it, I went soft. She is on her cycle, and I think the combination of everything just threw me off. It wasn't anything she did, it just happened. And I tried to reassure her right away and told her it was not her fault. I still find her attractive. That's just not something I can control. But she got really upset. And since then, she has not really talked to me and has been really distant. Now she's even suggesting that I fly home early. I feel completely lost. I don't know what to do. I don't want her to think I'm not attracted to her or something's wrong. I genuinely care about her and I don't want this to mess up our relationship. Has anyone been through something similar? How do I fix this? Said, hey, this is a continuation. I just wanted to give a little update and maybe look for some more advice. Last night, she seemed to be better. We ended up having a good night, but didn't really talk about anything as she didn't want to. This morning, however, she wanted to be intimate, but I wanted to be open with her and said I didn't want to and explained that I feel like I'm now scared of the same thing happening again. Am I overthinking it? What is going on? It has nothing to do with my attraction towards her. She left the room and has not talked to me. What should I do? What are we saying? What are we saying? Jay Blake said, oh Lord. Oh Lord. Just Rhonda. Marjan said that she subscribed. Thank you, Marjan. Thank you for subscribing to Just Rhonda 01. She has a absolutely awesome channel. So, what do y'all think? He is 21, the girlfriend is 19. They've been together for 6 months. And she wanted him to enjoy, how do I say it? A red light special. Okay. Okay. Um, and he lost altitude. Is that the best way to say it? He lost altitude. We do not have liftoff. Houston, we have a problem. We do not have liftoff. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I have to use these suggestive words because of YouTube's algorithm and certain words you cannot say and certain things you cannot say, even though I'm trying to bring you all the spicy questions to you. Okay. So what do we think? Now, this is kind of a continuation. Remember, in a previous, if y'all have not been watching Unsolicited Advice, you don't know what you're missing. We had a previous story in another live where the young man had to use an inflatable device to keep his altitude, to get any altitude. Okay? And we had a really great conversation in the chat about that. Trey Max said, this is just a mental block that he has. It can happen when you run the red light for the first time. He can work his way past this. Right. He can certainly try to. Okay. Running red lights is not a safe thing to do in traffic or otherwise. Okay. We're going to keep it. Just Rhonda said, we're going to keep it PG. I'm a guest. Now, just Rhonda, you one of them guests that you have access to the fridge. Okay. I don't need to pay attention too much to you. You're a guest that knows how to behave and you know how I behave. But has he okay, he's never run a red light. Now my question is to her, are we used to folks running the red light? Is that a usual or was that something she wanted to try with him? Or it could be that he said he's flying in, they have a long distance relationship. We can guess this. It's a long distance relationship for 6 months. So now we're trying to maximize all the time we have together because you're going to fly home eventually. So she's like, let's not let this stop us from doing what we came here to do. Okay. So maybe it was her first getting to know what this is like. And she don't understand why he making it a big deal. You're 21, sir. that's kind of early stages. I'm not going to put anything on you that it's medical or whatever, because your first time experiencing running red lights, it may be very jarring, especially if she didn't tell you that there was a red light a coming. That is a major problem. Young lady, you got to tell him. You got to prepare him. You got to prep him, because maybe for him, he don't even want to try. Maybe for him, he don't even want to go there. Okay? Red light for him means stop. So, young lady, this tells me you didn't tell him. So now I got to look at you. And yes, you are young. You are 19. You have to tell your partner that this is what they're going to encounter, so that they can be fine and perform accordingly. Tremack said, now her response is interesting to me. I would think that she could understand with him running a red light, but her reaction though, it sounds like this is normal for her. I got questions now. That's exactly what I just said, Tremack. She is used to the running the red light special. And now I'm wondering, because they are, I don't judge people who like to run red lights. I don't judge people who want to try running red lights. But young lady, you got to tell him so your partner knows and he wants to be a participant in this adventure. But now it's jarring. He can't, maintain altitude. Now we got a problem. We can't do this. We can't do this. We cannot have people finding out in the midst of stuff while they're between and betwixt, finding out, hey, the Red Sea is here. We can't have that for people. So now he's like, wait a minute. Now he's like, okay, I'm still attracted to you, but I ain't attracted to this situation. We got to get this together. We got to get this in order. We could, everything but until the red light stop blinking. Okay. You need to tell him. I don't fault him at all. Again, you can have the conversation. We are here. We are here. He is visiting. It's like, yo, I know you're visiting. I know we're here for a whole bunch. Here's what it is. Here's where I am. It's a red light. That don't mean stop unless you want to stop. He can't go down the street and realize later on there's a red light. That's jarring for anyone. Anyone. Marjan said in 2025, everyone needs to understand that you have consent from both parties at every turn, at every run, at every turn of the corner. You got to let him know he run to a red light. Just Rhonda said, this one is on her. It is definitely on her. Because he sounds like he's shocked. He's shocked. He is 21. Again, he is 21. And as Trey Mack said earlier, she's 19. Seems like she ain't shocked. She's like, what's wrong with you? Why is there a problem? Is her reaction is telling us. But I'm like, girl, he may not have experienced this. You have to talk. You have to talk. Samantha says, well said, Marjan. Samantha says, well said. You see, the thing is, you can't let somebody go there and be shocked and surprised at all. You know what's going on. He may not have ever experienced this. And now he's deflating. And this is a pun based on the doll we talked about on the previous one. Now he can't. Now that he wants to have altitude, he probably asked her when she turned away and walked off and didn't want anything later on when he tried to get back with her. He probably asked her, are we still having a red light? Are we still in the midst of a red light? And she probably said yes. And he probably said, I can't do this, not until the red light is over. And she's upset. And she told him, go home. You see, with a long distance relationship, every moment together matters. I'm not saying if you're close, it don't matter. But I'm saying it matters more because he done flew in to spend time. What are we talking about? Why aren't you telling him? The thing is, it ain't going to be there the entire time he's there unless he's only there for a weekend. Now, that's the other thing. How long is he here for? Now, that gives me another caveat. How long is he visiting for? It's screaming to me that he only here for the weekend. It's screaming to me, something is telling me he only there for the weekend. Okay? It's telling me he may have flew in Friday and he got to leave on Sunday for work on Monday. And it's going to be red light the whole time. And she thinking, what, we ain't going to do nothing this whole time? That's the only thing I'm thinking. Because he didn't say how long he was going to be there. He didn't say how long he was going to be visiting. And since he's 21, she's 19. Where are we visiting, though? That's the other thing. Where are we visiting? Is this college campuses? Is this college campuses are we visiting? And he got to fly home early. Where is home? How far are we traveling? I have questions. How far are we traveling? Because if this is a West Coast to East Coast thing, that's a long flight. And if it's just for the weekend, that's a long flight. I have questions now. Yes, it's on her. She should have told him exactly what to be expected. Maybe if it's just a weekend, he could have changed his flight so that he's not running red lights. But this is telling me there's a whole lot here that we don't know. I need to know where home is. Whew. So Trey Mack said, listen, a red slide can be fun. But as a man, if a lady doesn't have some sort of pause while attempting a red light roll through, I'm looking at her kind of suspect. She may have a red light kink. Okay. Maybe she's young though. Maybe she's never let that stop her before. We don't know her experience. They could have done a whole lot without running red light. Just Rhonda, and I agree with you. And here's the thing, I don't think they know about a whole lot because they're so young. And I'm not saying youth, they don't know. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of stuff out there, but some people just don't go looking for information. There's a whole lot. We have a particular age, above 30. No, there's a whole lot you could do without running a red light. A whole lot. I am not here to inform you. I'm sorry for the passing of Dr. Ruth. If you know anything in the past, we had a good doctor named Dr. Ruth. She could teach you a lot of things. Dr. Ruth was the doctor of my generation. So you need to go look at her, research her. If you don't know about Dr. Ruth, there's a whole lot you can do without running red lights. Okay? This generation is out there trying everything we never did. Well, I wouldn't say we never did. I agree with you. There's a whole lot we never did, our generation. But what I'm saying is we weren't vocal about it. In our generation, I knew red light runners, okay? But we weren't vocal about it. We didn't put our business out. We didn't have the internet to put our business out there. And we knew who not to tell in the neighborhood to have our business out there. But we did have people we would listen to or hear about. It's like, oh, they'll tell us stories. It may have been their own personal story. But we would hear stories about them, okay? But my thing is, this generation, yeah, the thing is they have so much information, but they're not talking to each other. That's the hardest part for me. We're not talking to each other. The husband and wife that we just talked about that are talking to each other, they're grown, they're in their 30s. But this 21 and 19-year-old, they ain't talking to each other. It sounds like he just there for the weekend. It's going to be a whole red light weekend. And she's thinking, what's the problem? She probably used to it. People running red lights. She never encountered someone who is uncomfortable or never ran a red light. Or maybe he just uncomfortable. He didn't know he was pulling up to a red light. That is jarring for anyone. I'm not going to put it on him that he ain't never run a red light. I don't know his experiences, but he probably never run a red light that he didn't know was coming or he didn't know was there. So I said, right, a lack of communication. Yes, this age group that we're talking about with this story, 21 and 19, lack of communication. I'm sure she told him, hey, they could have had a conversation. He could have changed his flight if he didn't like running red lights, or he could have been fully aware that there's a red light and he could curb his driving or his flying so he can maintain altitude. Because what he's thinking is what you're not going to do is say, I can't perform when your lack of information is what caused me not to perform. What are your thoughts? What is your unsolicited advice for this young man? Because he is having a hard time. He is still attracted to her. He just don't like the red lights. He don't like not knowing about the red lights. I feel for the young man. As we said in the chat, it's on her. She should have communicated and let him know. So y'all, that was the last story I had for today. This is the longest unsolicited advice we've ever had. So let me know, what are your thoughts about this? We could keep this on Sundays, definitely. Tremaine said it sounds like someone turned her in onto TLC's red light special and she never looked back. That's her standard now. It could be her standard, but if it's her standard, her partner needs to know, and they need to also, as the chat said, consent that they're also a red light runner. So, y'all, that is it. I'm going to possibly keep this noon on Sundays. I know we do recaps of Love is Blind, but since y'all are really, really liking this, I'm going to keep this on Sundays unless give me a vote otherwise. I am watching Somebody's Son. Okay, watching Somebody's Son. I'm recapping it. That is going to be on Tuesday. That is already up, so you can certainly turn on the notification bell for that upcoming live. And let's just say, if you go to my first recap and review of Somebody's Son, someone on the cast left me a comment that you may want to see. I'm 3 weeks late, but somebody from the cast decided to hop in and leave a comment, which is greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. So, y'all, I'm also waiting for Love is Blind. We have Italy, we have France. I got word in the comments from someone in the Netherlands that the Netherlands is having their own Love is Blind coming up. So as soon as Love is Blind comes on, we will definitely take a look. But let me go and watch. There's a new one, the Netflix cheater situation, Second Chance. I'm going to have to look at it and see what's going on and see if I'm going to review that. Let me get to the first episode. But yes, good afternoon. This was a great time. Great. Have a great week, everyone. Make sure you hit the like on your way out. And as you said, love it. And y'all, I have a new ending. I have a new outro. If y'all would bear with me and stay along and watch the outro, I appreciate it. And as I always say, I will see you on the next.